Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to Artist Life Simulator, brought to you by the developers behind The Shortest Trip to Earth, Interactive Fate. This game is in early access. It was sent to me to have a look at and to basically give my general opinion on things and see if you guys would like it. So let's dive right in. For those of you interested, it has the same feel of Cultist Simulator. It's like a life simulator game set in like 19th century Europe during the height of like the artistic movement. So let's sort of dive in, and it's basically follows your character. You pick a character and you play through their life as they try and become a successful artist, and all the ups and downs and mental stresses and strains that come with it. So let's have a quick look, shall we? So we have 3 characters to choose from. Actually, before we do anything like this, we probably should look at the settings first, just to sort them off. As I said, this game is in early access. So you have a lot of allow multiple result panels, auto close, and action start. The nice stats on board. A lot of the basic stuff. Some basic volume settings as well. No sort of gameplay or graphics options or anything like that. But as I said, it's in early access. They may add more settings as time goes by. You have the credits, you have the emotionorium, which basically shows you off feelings and unwanted conditions, stuff like stress, frustration, and these pop up in game, which impact certain stats and percentages in game, and then you have benefits like optimism and like relaxation, all things that give you bonuses to when you're trying to paint art, because art is all about moods and passions. And you unlock. I've unlocked a lot of the feelings. There's some that I don't have in like the red category. But we should get to that a bit later on. So let's go a new game. We have 3 characters to choose from. We could play Vanessa Einstone, a young student of classical arts. Vanessa Einstone is a rebellious spirit looking to prove herself in the world of modern painting, dominated by old men. Her style shows early signs of brilliance, and she is ready to work hard. She has arrived in Nova Oportunia with an almost empty pocket, but she is full of optimism. Basically, this is set in like a 19th century fictional city, which is supposed to be like the hub of. It's basically supposed to be 19th century fictitious Paris, pretty much from what I can tell. Like it's a hub of like the artistic and creative movement. And then you have Andrew Flowers, a very talented if somewhat uneducated artist from a poor family. Endra, Flowers. Endra has been supporting his mother her whole life. After her death, he decided to move to Nova Oportunia and become a full-time painter, and perhaps one day create a painting that would change the world. Charles Eiffel, a distant relative of some minor nobility. Charles Eiffel received a large inheritance years ago of what relative little remains today. Mr. Eiffel has painted all his life as a hobby, but recently some of his paintings have sold for considerable sums. Unfortunately, he finds it difficult to paint without drinking at least a little, which usually means a lot. As the inheritance is running out, Charles has decided to turn a new page in his life, quit drinking for a while, and move to Nova Oportunia to work as a full-time painter. I personally like Andrew myself, so let's go with him. We will play the intro. The arrival. I finally moved to Nova Oportunia, the world's centre of contemporary art. So basically, think 19th century Paris, realistically. Let us unpack our belongings. We'll unpack the mirror. I am physically fit and my willpower is strong. I have a good feeling about the city. We get the first emotional card, which is hope. Hope, a green feeling. So basically, you can use these cards to inspire you to paint things in the game, or use them to resolve other cards that pop up. You see this little tracker at the top here. Card circular timers. If it reaches 0, something unusual. Something usually happens. But let's pick up this card for now. But I have come here as a mortal, like everyone else. If I run out of health or sanity, my life will end, yet I must use these for challenges which need physical effort or willpower to overcome. Yeah, as you can see here, as you hover over a card, you get descriptions of the card health. The condition of my mortal body. One day I will surely die. I might regain health with long walks in the park, not guaranteed, needs time and effort, or I could visit the city's drugstore. Or sanity. My capacity to make logical decisions and cope with society. This represents my willpower, sanity, and mental readiness to focus. This can be gained from a variety of sources, such as visiting peaceful places like the ocean, or from thinking and talking about things. I could even buy some pills from the drugstore. And these are basically your health, mental and physical health. Note to self, any and all important info is shown in cards hover text. Reading hover text of new cards is necessary for understanding or playing this game. This game has a really strong culture simulator feel to me, and I'm a fan of that game as well. The cost of life, studio rent, painting supplies, food and water cost a tip. Just a tip of the iceberg. The cost of life card would be eating away at my wealth each time it cycles every 50 seconds, punishing me harshly if I cannot pay. Fortunately, I have some savings and a painting that I haven't sold yet. So we have 4 wealth, and we have a portrait painting valued at 4. So if we can sell it for 4, we'll have a nice amount of income. But every 50 seconds, we will basically be charged 1 wealth every 50 seconds. Paintings. Selling art will be my main source of income. Estimating painting value is shown in the painting hover text, although this is a very subjective estimation. The Art Palace. The best place to sell paintings in this building, although it won't be always open. To sell a painting, I must visit the Art Palace together with a painting. Receive visiting action. Note to self, cards or card slots that interact with each other get highlighted when hovered over them. As you can see me doing here. I should visit the place now and with my painting and then unfreeze time. You can freeze, accelerate, or playtime anytime. You have life upgrades, which are basically things that affect your character's progression in life. Such as, for example, we could pick up the Arc of Frugality, which basically the cost of life cycle becomes 10 seconds longer permanently, or stuff like we could try and find work to give us extra income. You also have an option menu here, which takes you back to the option menu, and you have the time, the date, the year, your character's name, and it's asking us to basically. So what we do is we take this as an action. A number of these things become unlocked as you play. So for example, we can visit places, we can talk to people, we can look for jobs. These kind of actions become unlocked the further down the game we go. For example, if we went to Job Hunter, finding a side job in Nova Oportunia is not difficult, but I need at least a little local reputation before I can start seeking jobs. Opportunities. I should also buy some new clothes and shoes. Like once we finish researching this, we would basically get an action which allows us to go job hunting with certain card interactions. And this is how the game functions. A lot of actions between things that your character has unlocked and with cards on the board. So let's, for example, we put our stuff around here. You can move the cards wherever you want to in the pile. So let's say we take visit action and we're going to go and visit the Art Palace. It will come visit the palace with a painting to sell. So let's take a character portrait, we'll put it in there and we'll start the action. It will take us 20 seconds for this action to play out. So let's have it going at normal time. And as you can see, as this is all balancing time management. As this bar fills up, this one also decreases because everything is moving at the same instance. So we can increase speed even more if we wanted to. But it's all about balancing these moods, because these things all change. Successful sale. Selling paintings usually brings wealth, reputation and good feelings. The Art Palace will be closed for redecoration after the event. Thinking. I can think about almost anything with a variety of results. For example, I can usually think to freeze the cost of my life or sometimes even reset it. We receive the think action. Thinking about the cost of life usually means paying attention to spending and trying to solve money. trying to save money. I should think about the cost of life now and wait for the result. Time flow can be set to fast forward from the time control bar at the bottom left of the screen. So for example, you will now think about paying attention to spending, thinking about the work-reducing expenses and living frugally. I can almost live free if I keep my attention focused on this. Time stops during this process. So this basically, he will have to eat through this thinking action before it can start affecting the cost of life again, before the cost of life timer tracks down, which gives you time to basically paint and do other things. But from selling our painting, low level auction, we got some reputation, we got some passion, which is used to paint, we got some wealth, painting feeling, which is something that you can use to paint or to solve certain negatives. I would say that I would like some of the colours to be a bit more, like when they up here at the top where describe solve stuff like boredom, apathy, nagging sensation, and doubt. I'd like it was a bit brighter with the blue, just because against the dark background, the colours don't pop so well. So here we go. So we have passion. Yes, that's done. We can speed up time. We have passion. My capacity for creative. Each passion adds a +1 to a painting's value and must be regained after painting. You cannot paint without passion. To receive creative passion, I must simply live boldly, as life regularly ignites my passion. Another option is to attempt to buy exotic drugs from the dark alley, which is a place you can unlock. Then we have reputation. Reputation is a requirement for many things, such as participating in exhibitions and unlocking life upgrades. People seem to mostly remember names, faces, and mistakes. The most foolproof way to acquire reputation is to selling paintings, but I could also hang out in the arts plaza in hope of socializing with art people. So let us move forward time a bit. I have found a way of earning small amounts of money by helping others. Cost of life is reset. Refreshing feelings and memories. In addition to solving money, thinking can also be used to refresh feelings of memories before they are forgotten, and other things. So, for example, our hope has become a memory of hope, which means it's not as you can see up here, there's normally a numerical value. If you put these into paintings, this will basically increase the value of them. So this now has no value because it's now just a memory. So for example, creative passion. Passion is a few less if you're painting, and a few other things. For example, each inspiration card used in a painting requires 1 passion. Painting anything needs inspiration, locations, feelings, ideas, memories, characters, or conditions. Painting has much better chances to remove unwanted mental conditions than talking or thinking about them. And we received a painting action. Painting types. The first card I use for a painting in the leftmost card slot determines painting types and usable secondary inspiration. So let's have here. It goes the first card used in the leftmost slot, which is this one here. The target, which is the thing we're focusing on, determines the painting type and unusable secondary inspiration. I should paint now and wait for the results. The time panel can be used to pause. You can use space to pause or speed up time. The game automatically pauses when an action is completed. So let's, for example, go. We could use either feels like painting or the memory of hope. Let's go with the memory of hope. And as you can see here, the estimated value is 0 to 1, which is expecting it to have a value of 1. And we're going to use a feeling of hope, which will boost it, give it a +3, so between 1 to 5, and it will cost us basically 2 passion and take us 40 seconds. So let's start painting. We'll pay some passion. This action is now going to start ticking over, as you can see here. If I wanted to, I could also go back to thinking to try and lock down our cost of living. We can't visit anywhere. What you want to do is you pretty much want to have all your actions ticking over constantly in this game. If you have an action that's not doing something, it's basically just being wasted, as it were, because they all work simultaneously with each other. Painting results. Finishing painting consumes mental inspiration, but not physical ones like characters or locations. I also have a chance to regain every passion that was used in the painting. It's a likelihood. Basically, the game sort of rolls a dice and sees that if you expend the passion or not. I finished the artwork. An abstract piece based on the feeling like painting. I hope people feel like. People will like it. Basically, we were aiming between 1 to 5, and we got 1, which isn't great. That is one thing I will say about this game. The RNG mechanics of the value system is a bit broken because it's really risky putting a lot of consumables into a painting. It's like, oh yeah, between 1 and 17, and you get 1. So the painting has like hardly any value, and you might have spent a lot of resources to get it painted. Which can be frustrating, but that's the artistic lifestyle, I suppose. So we will collect that. The painting ability becomes open to us again, but we don't have any resources to use. The park. Regarding physical locations, the Nova Oportunia Park is a great location for relaxing and restoring my bodily vigor. I can use any location, also a low value. I can use any location also as a low value inspiration for painting. So, Bar Avenue. This is a famous avenue in the middle of the city filled with bars and establishments of entertainment. A good place to meet new people. Discovering new locations. There are many other areas in Nova Oportunia that I haven't explored. Visiting the city streets allows me to discover new places of interest. Upgrade your life. Upgrades make life a lot easier, and they can be unlocked from the I button on the lower screen edge. I am now ready to start my career in Nova Oportunia. I need coin and art, and I need the coin, and the art palace happens to be close. I can sell my paintings in the city streets or the Bar Avenue, though it will be less profitable. New life goal. My next steps would be to earn more reputation and wealth to establish myself and attain a few upgrades of life. My next steps would be to acquire at least 5 reputation and have a good local reputation is a requirement for many valuable life upgrades and possible exhibition invitations. So that goes there. Normally what I do is I normally put my life goal up in the top left hand corner and my cost of living up here out of the way. The ultimate end goal remains to create a painting that will change the world, but I will come back to that later. Perhaps now is a good time to organise the cards to give my life given to me by life and place them on the board according to personal preference. End of active introduction. A few tips might also follow later. So personally, what I do is I always put like location cards on the right hand side, like this, and I put my painting cards and stuff. My actions I always put down the bottom, and my goals in life and stuff out of the way. Now, for discussing things that they suggest that you pick up, for example, early on, you can have, there's basically 3 that are unlocked. You can get Hard Worker, which is useful if you have a job, Job Hunter, or Art of Frugality. Job Hunter requires reputation and wealth. My suggestion is normally early on Frugality is a good one to pick up. You can drag cards out of here and put it in these slots, which they don't tell you about, but you can do. Well, you do have to do it. And it will take 160 seconds to play. So we are now starting to research that, and this will basically fill up in 160 seconds. This will basically tick over. So as this is doing, we can visit somewhere. We have a bit of wealth. But let's visit. I'm going to switch the park around. I only had the city on top. Let's visit the park for some inspiration. And let's tick the time back on. And this is basically the core mechanic of the game. Paying attention to my situations reminded me of better times. We haven't been able to re-tick the clock for that card, but we have got memory of positive thoughts. All feelings and people might become memories of themselves due to merciless effects of time. However, I can use thinking and talking to keep memories from being forgotten completely. I can also use memories for painting, talking, or thinking like any other inspirational card. So that goes back there. And we have this card now added that we can use. I am going to think about my painting for a little bit. We haven't got enough passion to paint anything noteworthy. So let's keep the timer ticking, shall we? I want to make a good enough art piece that we can take it to the art palace and get a suitable amount of income. The best place to earn money is the art palace. Reputation and money generally come from the art palace. Other locations tend to give you less rewards. Feelings. All feelings can be used for inspiration. All feelings can be used as inspiration when painting. The number on the feeling card represents their current inspirational value, which will be directly added to a painting's value. Feelings can also be used to counter unwanted mental conditions during paintings, talking or thinking, or solve specific conditions instantaneously by dragging a suitable feeling, for example happiness, on top of a condition, sadness. Let's collect this. The park flowers brought back pleasant memories of childhood. Days later, these memories have faded into the past again, but a new feeling has emerged, nostalgia. So, for example, if we wanted to paint, we could say we could do this and that. This doesn't really give us much. It gives us a bit of a boost. We could also, example, take this card out. We could say the park, and we could say this card. It would take us the same amount of passion, but we will have a higher chance of getting a better inspiration. So let's do that. It will eat up our passion, but hopefully we'll get a better price for our painting. This is ticking down. I do need to reset it. And also our cost of life, as you can hear. This is all about balancing things, and I just realised that we haven't been visiting. I will visit the city just to have a bit of exploration and not waste our actions. You want to be keeping all your actions ticking over. Looking at a finished painting as something sometimes relaxes me. So there we go. We've got a bit of insanity back, a bit of sanity back, and we've got to basically pause the cost of living if we are able to. And these, as the more and more cards you come into play, the more and more you have to juggle. Reaching a new part of Nova Oportunia, and the infinitely calm yet passionate ocean, with its beaches and promenades, it is a perfect place for allowing my nerves to calm and my mind to relax. So we get a new location, which is the ocean. For example, we can now visit, say, the Bar Avenue. We could take our pretty rubbish painting with us and try and sell it to get a bit of money. And that's what we're going to do. Our painting is ticking along. I don't tend to use the high speed because I like to keep track of what's going on. We've got a nice little landscape. This, as you can see, this is the problem I do have with this game. The RNG for value of things is annoying because it's like 1 to 3, like it was like 1 to 5 chance, like 1 to 5 value ratio, which meant we had a 1 in 5 chance of getting a 1, and we got a 1 again, which is really frustrating because more often than not I have found in this game, it seems to be really counterintuitive. I do argue that I think they need to make it harder for make it harder that you basically it's the risk versus reward scenario, which is that if you put a lot of things into making a painting in this game, you should be at least guaranteed to get a bit more worth out of it than 1. The price scaling is so wide in this game that sometimes it's really frustrating that you put a lot of resources in. It's like, yeah, you have like a really large bar for like high wealth, but you get 1 every time, and it's like it's annoying. It's really frustrating. I know it's supposed to be depicting like a character's lifestyle, but this thing really easily messes up the game, where you just need to be able to earn a little bit of money, and you are denied it because of how things are. See, we actually managed to sell it. I found a person who was willing to buy my painting for almost decent price. This is the best I can expect from here. So like here, see, we got some wealth. Fantastic. which boosts our wealth. But we do have to be careful with our wealth. If we have too much wealth, we expect a more lavish lifestyle, which can be counterproductive for us. Let's visit the art palace with our painting again. We have no passion, so we can't paint, which could be problematic because these things are ticking down, so we need inspiration. Let's just speed up the clock a bit. Yeah, we lost a bit of health. I've been buying and eating discount foods, to reduce my living cost. Unfortunately, something gave me a food poisoning, so we lose some health because of that, and our wealth is going to tick down, which is not great. I will put the thinking on this to try and preserve this for as long as possible, to try and get some inspiration going. There we go. We get a little bit of reputation, some hope. We have no inspiration. We have no passion to paint, which is actually a main issue for us. A local creator convinced me to lend him the painting. Okay, for free. He promises that my painting would get a lot of exposure. So we got some reputation, which is it's okay. I prefer the money, but it means that painting is locked. It also means that we have no passion to paint, so we need to get passion from somewhere. We can't have anything to paint. Let's go to the city again and see if we can find something. This is my only one of my few gripes with this game, which is that the random number generation is actually pretty damaging. We found a new location, Culture Plaza. The centre of culture is filled with surroundings by galleries, sculptures, theatres, and other art venues. Visiting provides an opportunity to gain inspiration. The fact is, like, getting passion for painting, which normally comes from the art palace, isn't guaranteed. So you're really at the whims of the game, desperately hoping that you get some passion triggers before you lose actual worthy cards for painting. It can be a bit frustrating, because now I have to do this. I don't want to combine it with that because that will make it into a new card, but I need to basically combine it with this to basically hold off that card being lost, and just hoping that we can get something inspiration from somewhere. Yeah, we got some passion. A mood painting exhibition. So that's basically opportunity requires a painting with a unwanted condition as key inspiration. Drag a suitable painting directly onto the exhibition card. Disappears after 360 seconds. But we have some passion, so exhibition opportunities. Alas, aha! I feel I finally receive an invitation to participate in our exhibition upon art. I'm asked to just send it organizes one of my paintings of the required type, dragging suitable paintings directly off onto the exhibition card. A good opportunity to earn free fame and a bit of extra coin. So we don't have any cards available right now. So with a unwanted condition, okay. But I am going to lose this card if I don't use it. Yeah, we don't have enough passion for that. So I do need to paint. Hopefully we get the reputation back, and hopefully we can get a painting that's worth something. In the meantime, let's visit the city for some inspiration. No, let's visit the park for some inspiration. But this is basically how the game goes. You're trying to complete goals in a timely fashion. More money goes away. We're just visiting people, painting, thinking about conditions. It's all a balancing act. It's all basically balancing, to use an old term, balancing spinning plates. You're having to keep everything just... Yeah, as again, we got a value of 1. I've lost myself in admiring the permanent nature of the park keeps rebelling against its boundaries. Sorry, I lost myself in admiring how the primal nature in the park keeps rebelling against its boundaries. So we got admiration of nature, which is nice and is worth 2. So if we paint it, we'll probably get a nice reward. Though if we could get some more inspiration from somewhere, let's say by visiting the art gallery with this abstract painting of ours and trying to sell it, we might be able to get a nice outcome. And the art of frugality basically ticks in. The cost of life cycle has been permanently increased by 10 seconds longer. It does not influence the expensive lifestyle. So we had to keep our lifestyle low to basically receive the benefits of this. And for example, if we wanted to do job hunting, we could do job hunting with the little reputation that we have. We could spend our reputation now to try and finding a job which will bring wealth in, which is actually a pretty good thing to do early on. My suggestion early on is to invest in these quality of life skills, because they are very beneficial. They make things a lot easier. Your primary goal is to make enough wealth to hold off your cost of living, which is the thing that's constantly ticking down. Your sanity and willpower can be, depending on RNG, relatively easily replenished, in my experience. I've always found that getting sanity back is actually fairly straightforward in this game. Health is a bit more based on RNG. But wealth and passion are the 2 things which are normally the most randomly affected by decisions and actions in-game, I have found in my experience. So you sort of have to sort of juggle that. Overall, this is a good game. It's still in early access, so it has still a ways to go. And if you're the kind of people that likes this kind of game, like if you like Culture Simulator, which is very similar to this is an interesting game, especially if you like the whole creative side of painting or making anything, the whole sort of passion of creation. It's a very interesting game. As it is for me right now, I like it, but at the same time, I do think they need to toggle the RNG nature of the value of your paintings, because it is far too easy to make worthless paintings after putting so much time and effort into it. Like when I say you can have a really wide wealth value of a painting range, you can have it from like 1 to 17. So like you can have a painting that can roll anywhere between value of 1 and a value of 17 in wealth. And you get a 1, you put like a ton of stuff into it and you get a 1 out of it. And yes, I know from a realistic depiction that is something that can happen with painting if you're just unfortunate in the creation process. But at the same time, in a game, it feels a bit too random numbers generation to my liking. It's like, oh, bad luck, you rolled a d17 and you got a 1. That's not a problem to me, but it happens more often than it should. A lot of times you get a 1 or a 2 wealth for a painting that should probably have a much higher result. So I think they do need to look at how much the wealth of their painting, the wealth like mechanics if they're in this game, and balance it out a bit more. Because it feels a bit broken at the moment. Otherwise, it's a good game. I recommend it if you like games like Culture Simulator. It's quite a different take for the studio. The Sword's Trip to Earth is a very different game to this, so if you're wanting something very different from the developers, this is something you can check out. I've been Cornish-knight, this has been Artistic Life Simulator, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye, folks.